computer totally went wonky.
Oh,
So, so I had to start out on my iPhone and then get my computer back up working. So yeah, those things happen all the time. And I'm wearing earphones because my microphone is at. I have an office across town, and I left the microphone there, which I should not have done. So I'm wearing headphones, which means I won't be standing up to do anything because it's a very short cord. So can't do that. So, okay, just a little, I'll introduce myself, then I'm going to ask you all to introduce yourselves, and I'll explain a little about what we're going to do in this class. And Zach, everyone who is on this Zoom participates.
I'm
So,
ready. I'm ready.
good. Okay. So, all right. So I'm Sue Perlgott. I have been teaching theater, performing, acting, directing for a very long time. Um, let's say more than 40 years. And I started out in New York City, very off Broadway type work, teaching in colleges. Moved to Ithaca. I've been doing a lot of what I would call off Broadway in Ithaca. And in the mid 90s, I think it was, I thought, gee, in New York City, I formed a feminist theater troupe called It's a Right to Be Woman Theater. And we did stories from our lives. It was really successful. It was an amazing experience, and I've been trying to recreate it since in the mid 70s. So, in the mid 90s, I said to myself, gee, wouldn't it be great to do stories from our lives with seniors? Wouldn't that be a lot of fun? So, I got in touch with Lifelong, and they said, sure, go for it. So I have been leading the senior troupe of Lifelong since the mid 90s, and it has changed. We started out doing theater very actively, and they all turned to me and said, no, we can't do this anymore. Plus, we don't want to memorize. No more memorizing, no more jumping around the stage. We're just too old for that. So I came up with a new form of theater. And I've been doing it ever since. It's been so much fun. I really, really miss the in-person aspect of it. On the other hand, I get to be with Sally, who we would never have been with if it wasn't for, virtual, for Zoom. So, so I am trying with everyone else to make the kind of theater I do work on Zoom. So that's what we're going to do today. I taught a class through Lifelong for the month of for the month of February. My senior troupe is starting to meet tomorrow to pick a theme and to start to create stories like the stories you heard on that Zoom. We're going to write stories, and on Zoom, I'm going to be recording them and putting together some kind of video with the stories with the troupe. And trying to do it all on Zoom.
So Sue, hold on. I got another person coming in here. This is
Great.
Lynn. I'm not sure exactly which Lynn, but she's coming
Okay.
in.
Okay, great. So, so that's me. I'm also a filmmaker, which is why I can make videos. And so I put these two, theater and film, together, and it's the best. It's just the best. I became a filmmaker when I retired. So that's the kind of thing you can do. So what we're going to do today. So Lynn, we'd love to see you. If you could put
your video on.
put your video on.
Lynn, put your audio on.
We can't. It doesn't work if we can't see you. So okay. So what we're going to do today is we're going to introduce ourselves. So, tell me a little about who you are. Then we're going to do a little bit of a physical warm up. I have to do it in my chair. Again, I can't move around with this on. And then we're going to do some fun improvisational theater exercises that work on Zoom. And these theater exercises are to build teamwork and to have fun, essentially. That's what they're for. Let's start with introductions. Zach, tell me a little about yourself.
Right. So I know just about everyone here, at least a little bit. I guess with the exception of Mike, who I'm meeting first time. But I've been at GIAC for just over 10 years now. I've been in the position of senior program coordinator the whole time. As far as my experience doing theater, it's virtually zero. Through high school, my sister was the drama person, the performer, the singer. I went into the sports, and so I used to participate in like the nativity scene at church every year. But beyond that, besides standing as a wise man or kneeling as a shepherd in front of the in the nativity scene, then that's about it. But I did write a story. It's about my time in Nepal, which is one of the big periods of my life. I was in the Peace Corps for 2 years, 98 and 2000. From there, I went to Cornell, and from there, I got my job at GIAC. So that's sort of my adult life in a nutshell.
Great. Thank you. Thanks. I forgot to say that in the 90s also, I was the chair of the GIAC Board of Directors and led a multicultural theater troupe at GIAC. And we did two or three or four performances. We had a good time. Okay. So, Mike.
Yes, I'm married to Sue, as she said earlier, and I am a retired clinical social worker. I did a lot of volunteering work around the community after I retired, but with the pandemic, I can't do anything now. So that's about it.
But you're in the senior troupe.
I am also in the senior troupe, right?
Okay. So, Sally, I'm looking at my screen. That's how I'm doing it.
Hi. Well, I lived in Ithaca many years. I'm a registered cytotechnologist, retired. And then after I retired from that, I ran the Coumadin Clinic in Ithaca there at Guthrie for a while. But after my kids got grown up or were teenagers, in college and stuff like that, I went into cancer research a little while. But now I'm retired, And the only plays I ever done, I think like 1,000 years ago, like in school and stuff like that, I try to write a little bit, or paint, something like that. And of course I crochet. Well, not as much as before, because I got a lot of aches and pains and a lot of medical problems right now. But I said, I'm still moving.
Great. You love
people.
Great. Okay, Janie. Are you Jane or Janie? And you're yeah.
I'm Janie.
Janie. Okay.
Where do I start? I've lived in Ithaca a really long time, like since the early 70s. And I retired like 5 years ago from Kendall at Ithaca. I was their human resources director from before opening until 2015. And I joined GIAC a few years ago, and mostly the arts and crafts group, which is now Crafts and Conversation, which is really actually more conversation than anything lately. But that's important, so that's what we're doing. And I guess I've always enjoyed writing, but I haven't really started writing for real until 2019. when I wrote a journal about my experience with my husband's Alzheimer's. So I have a book about that. And then during the pandemic, I've been writing poetry, of all things. So now I have 7 books out in 2 years.
Wow.
So I've always, well, I've seen you around town, Sue, and I knew what you did. And I thought, gee, that's kind of fun. But, you know, I never really dipped my toe into it. So today is a chance to kind of dip my toe into what you're doing.
Great. Yeah, I've seen you around town also. So thank you. That's great. Okay, Myra.
Hi. I grew up in Ithaca, and I was away from Ithaca about 19 years. I was in college. I studied library science. I was public librarian in Schenectady, New York, and in Virginia. And I came back to Ithaca in 1977. And I hung out as a home care provider for the elderly for almost 30 years here in Ithaca. And I don't write, I write about my life a little bit and my family. And that's about my experience with writing.
But you've seen the senior troupe perform many times at McGraw House.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Senior troupe comes to McGraw House.
Yep.
And the person that got me mostly into is Gwyneth Warner. And she was a member.
Yeah.
My neighbor here on the 6th floor at McGraw House.
Yeah, Gwyneth was one of the original members of the troupe back in the mid-90s. Yep. Okay, Carol.
Hi, I moved here to Ithaca from the Detroit area in 2013, so I'm a very recent Ithaca resident. My background is mostly in human resources on the technical side. I did worked with pensions and pension funds and things of that kind. I really have not done any writing except expository writing, so this is new for me. But I discovered in myself after making some presentations to larger groups that I really get a kick out of making people laugh. And so I have a little bit of a comic orientation to audiences, and I thought it would be fun to try this. So
Great. Well, because we don't have a theme, there's nothing written for today. If we decide to do this again next week, we'll pick a theme today, and we'll be able to write something for next week.
I thought we had
School as our theme.
What was the theme?
writing.
I'm sorry.
Cool.
We had a writing exercise.
School is our theme.
I totally forgot. Okay, great. All right. Okay, so, we better, all right. Okay, so to warm us up for your story, which now I'm really excited about, we're going to do a few exercises. They may seem a little silly to you, but they are so much fun. And that talk about laughing, the troupe, when we do exercises, we laugh a lot. When we rehearse, we laugh a lot. So just let go of any voice that tells you I can't do this, and just do whatever it is. Again, do what you can. If it's something you can't do, it's too hard physically, just don't do it. So we're going to start with a very, very, very brief warm up in our chairs. I'll go back as far as I can without losing my microphone. Oh, maybe I'll be able to stand up. Oh, I can.
I have to go. Okay.
You all gonna stand up?
Okay. If you want to stand up, you can. Okay. So what we're going to do is just raise one arm up. Just raise your arm up and raise the other arm and just raise and feel the stretch in here. stretch and stretch and stretch and stretch. Good. And then just reach forward and reach forward and reach out for somebody on the screen. Just reach out. Reach right out. Oh, who are we touching? Somebody. Just touch, reach, and then just shake out your hands and just roll your shoulders, roll them back, and then roll them forward, and then up and down, and up and down, and up and down, and shake out your arms, and shake out your hips. Okay, and for those who can't, we're going to do a little point and flex if you have to hold on to a table or a chair. So what we're going to do is you're going to take one leg and you're going to point your foot off the floor. I can't show you, I'm sorry. So point your foot and flex and point and flex and point, flex.
Got some problems. I won't be doing that.
That's fine.
I just
Do
do
it.
what I can do, yeah.
Yeah, do whatever you can. Okay, and then roll your ankle around and roll it back the other way and shake out that leg. Okay, other leg. Point and flex, point and flex, point and flex, and roll your ankle around. Roll it back the other way and shake out your leg and just do a whole body shake out. Shaking it out with your voice if you want. Shake it out. Get it out. All right, good. Excellent. Okay, so now we can sit down. All right. So, okay, so the first thing we're going to do is called, let's see, there's 6 of us, so that's going to work out just fine. We're going to do what's called a mirror exercise. And what that is that we're going to choose a partner, and because I'm looking at you, I'm going to set up partners. So Zach and JD, you're partners. Myra, you and I are partners. Carol, you and Sally are partners. Okay? So what's going to happen is that one of the partners is partner A. So let's say that's me. I am going to put up my hands. So Myra, you do this with me. Okay. So what happens is that Myra is going to mirror what I'm doing. So if I pull back, she'll pull back. If I raise one hand, she'll raise one hand. So that's how simple it is, okay? Keep it slow, keep it basic, keep it simple, and there'll be no talking. So if you mute yourselves, that'd be good. That way they'll, I don't know if I could mute or not, but mute yourself. But don't mute, I will mute myself because I want to get directions. So everybody mute yourself. Okay, so Zach and Sally, you are A. You're the leaders of the first round. So you will start with your hands up. So it's slow, gentle. I mean, you could touch your face, you could touch your, whatever you can do with your hands, but slow and gentle, okay? And Janie, you'll follow Zach. Myra, you're going to follow me. And Carol, you're going to follow Sally. Okay, and go. Okay, Carol, you're supposed to be following Sally. Whatever Sally does, you do. You're muted, so I can't hear what you're saying, but okay. So All right. Well, I mean, you can all see, right? It's like kind of really cool to watch people doing this. All right. So now what's going to happen is that Janie, Myra, and Carol are now the leaders. Okay. So Zach, you're going to follow Janie. Myra, I'm going to follow you, and Sally, you're going to follow Carol. Okay. Again, slow and steady. Okay. Go ahead. Great. That's great. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's so great to watch everybody doing it. At one point, we were almost all of us were doing the same thing. And that was very cool to see also. So great. Okay. Um, all right. Let's see. Okay. So let's see. There's going to be 4 stories. Did you write something, Zach? You did. So it'll be 5 stories. So, okay, we have time for one more exercise and then you're going to do your stories. All right. So I'm trying to figure out which exercise I'm going to do next. Okay, so I want to do something simple. Okay, so this is called What Are You Doing? Okay, so I'm going to start by doing an action, miming an action like brushing my teeth. So everybody unmute yourselves because it's going to involve some talking. Okay, so I'm going to be brushing my teeth and somebody is going to say, "What are you doing?" to me. Okay, so
What are you doing?
I'm reading a book. So what you do is you say something you're not doing. Okay, so you do an action, but then you say something you're not doing, and then because Zach asked me what I was doing, he now has to pretend he's reading a book. And then somebody will say to him, "What are you doing?" But you have to say it something else. So, okay. So somebody say to Zach,
What are you doing?
I'm taking a drink of water.
great. Okay, somebody ask Sally.
What are you doing?
I'm eating corn.
What are you doing?
So Jane, you have to act like you're eating corn.
Oh, okay.
And then somebody's going to say to you, "What are you doing?" And you have to make up something else. Go ahead.
What are you doing?
I'm writing a letter.
Okay. What are you doing?
I'm brushing my hair.
Well, what are you doing?
I'm fixing my telephone, which is broken. So you have to act like you're fixing your telephone, Myra. However, whatever that looks like.
What are you doing, Myra?
Playing in the sand.
What are you doing?
I'm flossing my teeth.
What are you doing?
I'm cooking. Something.
So you have to act like you're cooking something.
Oh, I'm cooking.
Right. And
Okay,
then,
um,
okay. And
What are you doing?
I'm wading in the ocean.
You're waiting in the ocean.
What are you doing?
I'm climbing the stairs.
My,
what are you doing?
I'm laughing.
Great. Okay, that was great. You are all terrific. Yeah, give yourselves a hand. That was fabulous. Great. Okay. All right. So let's spend the next, let's hear the stories. And if we have time, we can do one more exercise. But I'm looking forward to hearing your stories. So whoever is, so we'll mute unless you're reading. So who'd like to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay. So everybody else mute.
School. I always had a love-hate relationship with school. Maybe hate is too strong a word. There were so many things I loved and things I strongly disliked. I loved shopping for new things every year, new pens, new notebooks, and a chance to select new classes, especially ones that had great names like Why the Sky is Blue. I loved the name, signed up for the class, and later was totally dismayed. I had a strong dislike for that class. I learned that in addition to not being able to tell a book by its cover, you cannot judge a class by its name. At the end of that semester, I could not explain why the sky is blue. That is my fault. The professor approached his subject with passion. Other students seemed to grasp what he was teaching, and they were enthusiastic about being there. What was I thinking? I did not need to take a class to learn why the sky is blue. Just being able to look at the clouds parading across that wide expanse of blue was all I needed. Instead, I'd been sitting in a classroom watching the hands of a clock crawl around and around until it was time for me to go outside and look up. I did not care why the sky was blue.
That's great. Thank you. You thought it was going to be an easy A, huh?
I did. I was struggling to get a C.
That's great. Thank you. That's great. Okay, who else would like to go? Who'd like to go next? You're going to go at some point. Carol? Okay, great.
I'm looking at my report card from the 4th grade. It's a light yellow cardboard and my mother's signature is on it 4 times. Dorothy L. Beeman. I was a mediocre student, according to the card, and was somewhat unruly. I didn't play with others. I didn't like school much. I remember my teacher, a well-dressed short woman, stuffed into a girdle. It had to be adjusted with startling frequency, with her left hand grabbing the wandering girdle and a handful of dress, giving it a quick yank without interrupting her train of thought. The school is still there on 72nd Street in Bay Ridge in Brooklyn. A brick pile 7 blocks from my house on 67th Street. I walked there every school morning, home for lunch, then back to school. It seemed a lot further to me than 7 blocks. The school didn't have a cafeteria. All of us went home for lunch. I know this because on one day we had to bring a lunch and we ate it in the huge entry hall. I have a recollection of sitting on a bench seat, one of those that lined the vast space when I went there to kindergarten. I hadn't gone the first day, I remember being terrified of going to school. My mother must have given me a pass. Then going the second day made me feel forever a stranger. I imagined that everyone else knew one another, and I was the outcast. The worms crawl in, the worms crawl out. The worms play pinochle on your snout.
That's great. Wow. I remember those report cards. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, that's great. Terrific. Thank you.
Thanks.
So who wants to go next? Sally, Zach, or Myra? Myra. Okay, go for it.
I was born in the Ithaca City Hospital on South Quarry Street. As a Bell Sherman second grader, I came home from school crying, telling my mother I didn't want to go back to school. Mother told me I had to go to school. I was only 7 years old. After looking into the reconstruction home school where children with polio attended, Mother found the health, did you get that word, health school, also part of the Ithaca City School District in the 1940s, which I attended from second grade to sixth grade. Health school was located on the roof of the high school building. There were 2 classrooms, a library lunchroom, a larger room in the middle, and the roof for our playground. The small classes, first grade through sixth grade, were for children with health issues. Today, children are mainstreamed in the regular classrooms. After lunch, the students took a nap on wire cots with a folded army blanket and each wearing an eye band. Our teacher played Voice of America on the radio. We had music in the big room. I loved musical chairs. We waited at the elevator for Mrs. Flora White, our 4th through 6th grade teacher, to arrive so we could ride the elevator with her to our school. The high school students had to use the stairs. But now after 1954, I believe, the rooms were used by the high school building. And in the early 1970s, William Downing bought the whole building from the school district for $20,000, and he developed the DeWitt Mall. The end.
Wow, that is great.
A little history lesson for you.
Yeah, that's a really interesting history. Wow, the health school, huh?
Health, HEALth.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The
Started
small,
35 as the fresh air school. But when I came there, it was called the health school.
wow. Wow, very interesting. So Downing bought it for $20,000. Oh my gosh. Oh well,
They were going to tear it down.
they were? They
It
were
was
tear
to be
down.
torn- It was to be torn down.
Oh, wow. Well, great. Thank you, Myra. That's great. Okay, Sally, Zach, either one of you. Sally? So mute yourselves, everyone. Sally, unmute yourself. Great.
Yeah. I haven't written anything. I haven't been feeling well. I still got some problems going on, yeah.
That's fine. Okay. All right, Zach.
I got one then. All right. So I titled this Treading Water. From 1998 to 2000, I volunteered with the Peace Corps in Nepal. Although not my primary work, I had enough free time to spend a couple hours a day to teach at a local elementary school. I worked with the older kids who were in 5th and 6th grades. Generally, I found the students motivated and excited to have a teacher from America. So discipline issues were rare. The school provided instruction for students in 1st through 6th grades, so a total of 6 classes. Unfortunately, the school only had a total of 5 classrooms, so frequently one of the rooms would be occupied by 2 grade levels at once. The occasional discipline issue often coincided with the days when 2 different grades occupied the same space. After teaching at the school for about a year and establishing relationships with the staff and headmistress, they approached me with a proposal. I had not paid much attention to a bit of masonry on the side of the building, but this was the foundation for the 6th room that had not been finished when the rest of the school was built. I was asked if I would be able to help them complete this room and give each class its own space. As it was, I did know of a grant that could cover the several $1,000s that would be needed, so I agreed. Managing construction has its own set of stories. Apparently, you can't expect to have contractors who work during harvest, and that laborers expect tips in the form of baggies filled with alcohol. After several months of trial and tribulations, we successfully finished the construction of the new schoolroom and furnished it. We marked completion with a grand opening ceremony, complete with a visit from the U.S. ambassador. A modest success. 1 year later, I went back to visit the school, and the addition was still standing in good condition. Looking on the inside, there appeared to be a large number of students. I wondered why. Apparently, the school board had decided to add a 7th grade to the school. So again, multiple classes were sharing a space.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, very nice. Yeah, Nepal, wow. So I forgot that I told you to write, but I could talk a teeny bit. I graduated from college with a BA in elementary education. So I looked around for jobs, and I took a job at the school that I went to, at the grammar school that I actually went to. I went back there to be a 5th grade teacher. And I'm still friends with some of those young people who, in fact, one of them is in the senior troupe now. And this was in New Jersey. And I was not a great teacher, but we had a lot of fun. They turned out fine, as it turns out. They didn't. I didn't damage them. And I remember I had to fill out report cards. I met some really interesting people. And the next year, they had an overflow 3rd grade. So they put me into this overflow 3rd grade, which was only 15 kids. And that was the best. That's when I understood that classes needed to be small. And I worked with this group of 15 very diverse kids in terms of learning and everything. And I did a real arts year. We did theater, we did music, that's how I did the whole thing. And it was fabulous. It was the best year. And then I decided that there was more to life than teaching, and I moved on to many other careers. So that's it. So it looks like we still have a little bit of time. And I have an exercise, since you are all such good writers. We're going to make up a poem on the spot. So get some paper and pencil, or do it on your computer, however you want to do it. You're all muted, so if you're saying something, I can't hear you.
A poem on what? I didn't get.
Well, I'm gonna give you the prompt, so don't worry.
Oh,
So get some paper and pencil ready, or get your computer ready, whatever it is you're going to do. And I'm going to give each one of you a different word. So each one of you is going to get a different word, and then I'm going to give you a mood. So you're going to get a word and a mood, and then you're going to write a real quick poem. Okay? Just whatever comes spewing out of you is what you're going to do. Okay? All right. So, okay, so Sally, I'm going to give you radio, and the mood is love. Okay.
Radio and love, right?
Yeah. Okay. Janie, I'm going to give you uh, umbrella, and the mood is hope. And Myra, I'm going to give you river, and the mood is fear. Carol, I'm going to give you phones, and the mood is humorous. Zach, I'm going to give you shoes, and the mood is hope. Okay, go for it. Write about, I don't know, 8 to 10 lines.
Oh
Just
my God.
whatever, or 4 lines, whatever spews out of you is fine. It's fine. Okay, how close are we to being ready? I wrote a little one myself.
Kind of fun.
Okay, when you're done, just look up and I'll know you're done. Okay, everybody done? All right, great. So I'm going to read mine, so you'll all feel good about yours after you hear me. So I picked computers and love. Computers, I love them. That's why I have 3. An iPhone and an iPad. I call, I write, I teach, I talk. Love those computers. That's it. Okay, who would like to go next and share their poem? All right, Sally.
I
So,
don't know if really a poem or not, but it's something. I had radio and love. On my little red radio, I was listening to a love song. The sun was bright and clouds fluffy. I don't know why the feeling came over me, but I wanted to skip and play. But instead, I went looking for my mom's freshly baked cookies. Just
really sweet. Very sweet. Very nice. Great. Very nice. Okay, who wants to go next? Zach. Okay, everyone else mute.
All right. Mine was Shoes and Hope. And I took I wrote a haiku. I think that I got the syllables right. I think it's 757. If it's the reverse, then forgive me. It's a reverse haiku. All right. Amazon, nice sky blue Nikes, overnight delivered. But will they fit my wide feet?
Great. Great. Good. Okay, who'd like to go next? Myra. Okay, everyone else mute. Myra, you have to unmute yourself.
My word river, mood, fear. Riding down the river, see the trees move by. Once the huge one, only near me, crashed into the river as I floated by.
Great, good job. Okay. All right. So, okay, Carol or Janie? All right, Carol. Okay, unmute yourself, Carol.
Mine were bones and humor. I'm old now, although I don't feel old. My bones tell me I am. I get up in the morning and my bones tell me not to move. I run up Camp Hill every other day. My bones tell me I'm crazy. Oh well, I tell my bones they better get used to it.
Great, thank you. Yeah, nice. Okay, and Janie.
Okay, mine is umbrella and the mood is hope. It looks like rain, gotta get my umbrella. Wearing my boots, they are bright yellow. Was looking for sun, but there's none today. It's gonna pour as soon as I hit the door. Above all those clouds, there's sunlight for sure. I can't wait to see it because it's gonna cure all the grumpiness I don't like to feel and brighten my day. That's just how I feel.
Nice, I like, great. That's great. These are great. Oh, thank you so much. This has been wonderful. I think the plan was to try this and see if we wanted to go forward. Is that right, Zach? To see if we wanted to do it again next week, or if this is a one-time. It's really up to all of you, I think. Would you like to do it again next week?
This was a lot of fun,
It is. I enjoy it.
very enjoyable.
But I'd like it.
So would you like to do it next? Can we do it next week at the same time, Zach, or what do we?
Well, next week I have something scheduled at 11, but we could do it. Wait, no. Today's Wednesday.
Yeah.
Can we do it every 2 weeks?
Yeah. We could do it next week, or we could do it the week, in 2 weeks. What do you think?
So you want to do it the 10th? Next week is the 10th. We do it at 10 on the 10th?
Sure.
And are any of you interested in joining the troupe to help create a longer piece?
I can't right now because I'm going back and forth to the doctor and stuff, and my times I can't choose correctly, and
All right, so actually we're meeting,
maybe in the future, or
good.
straighten out a little bit here.
Yeah, good, good. We're meeting, at this moment, we're meeting at Thursdays at 4 o'clock, but we may move that to a Monday or a Friday at 4 o'clock. Whatever, it's going to be at 4 o'clock, either Monday, Thursday, or Friday, but tomorrow it's at 4 o'clock. And it would be a 2-month commitment. You would join the troupe. People have been sending me ideas for themes. Tomorrow we'd pick a theme. And then everybody would write a story and we'd start working on it together. So does anybody have interest?
I am interested, but I'm not sure I can make a commitment right now.
Okay. All right. So let's just stay with do the class, and we'll do the class next week. And if anybody else wants to join in, if you tell your friends how much fun we had, that'd be great. But this is also a great group. You're all enthusiastic. You jumped right in. You got the exercises. It's been really fun for me. A lot of fun.
Interesting, though, yeah.
Been wonderful.
Great.
Appreciate
So-
you doing it.
So there is a way to do a Zoom call through Google called Google Meet. Do you know that, Zach?
I've heard of it. I haven't actually done it, but I know that that's another platform.
So on that platform, I'm pretty sure we can talk without cutting each other off.
Hmm.
You know how on Zoom, if somebody's talking, somebody else can't really talk? But on Google Meet, at least I tried it with a friend. She and I could talk at the same time. So,
You want me to try to set up the next one through Google Meets? I could
Yeah.
do that.
yeah, and what happens is you just click on the link. You don't have to have any software or anything.
Right.
You just click, as far as I know, you just click on the link and we should all be on. And then we
Okay.
could actually have a conversation.
Sounds good. Oh,
Great. So let's pick a theme real quickly. Pick a
Oh, yeah.
theme for next week for something to write. Okay, what would you like to?
Oh, dear.
Any ideas? Any of the poem ideas? Radio, river, swimming, coffee, computers, phones, umbrella, shoes, bones, weather,
How about weather?
Chairs. How about chairs?
chairs?
Chairs.
Chairs. Okay. So a story from your life about chairs. That should be very interesting. Okay, good. Look forward to that. All right. So again, we'll start off with some warm up. We will do some theater exercises, and then we'll have the stories. It was wonderful. Thank you so much. It was so nice to meet you all.
How long should the stories be?
How long did I say this? About 250, up to 250 words.
See, that's what this was.
Yeah. Yep.
That's almost doable.
Right. That's about 3 chairs.
Very much.
Well, thank you all. This has been great. Been wonderful.
you too. Yeah.
See you next
Looking
week.
forward to next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So long, everyone.